Welcome back to another episode of Emotional Nightmares. I'm your host. My name is Tyler. On today's episode, we went ahead and pulled up not just a normal guest, but we went and pulled out an artist, local rapper out of, Butler, right?
Butler, yeah, Butler, Pittsburgh.
Out of Butler, Pittsburgh area. My bird's out there ringing a bell, if you caught that. So, all right. So with that, though, I'm gonna go ahead and let you introduce yourself.
Yeah, hey, my name is BmurrTheET. I make music and shoot videos and edit content under Planet Euphoria Records. It's a record label out of Pittsburgh, and we have the launch pad in Natrona Heights for recording. But
nice.
primarily, I came on here because I absolutely love the concept of the podcast that you have, man. Mental health, recovery. If it weren't for I've been in counseling, whether voluntary or involuntary, since I was 5. So my entire life has been nothing but inward seeking. It's been nothing but problem solution mentality, and it's all thanks to getting a grip on my mental health and also addressing the issues that I have with substance abuse. So
nice.
I have
So we had some substance abuse issues in there, some mental health issues.
Absolutely.
Going back to childhood, right? So tell me a little bit about that. Tell me a little bit about childhood, more or less.
Yeah, childhood. It's not anything traumatic because I've learned to just accept things and see the lessons in things. But yeah, when I was 5, I was adopted to a family in Butler from my birth father, who lived in Wilkinsburg. My birth father, to my knowledge, struggled with addiction issues and this and that, and ultimately that's the reason. I've been told, he told me a story, I'm not sure how true it is, but he said whenever CYS came to get me, he had me under his arm like a football, ran out the back door, and that was one of the bids that, if he hadn't gotten locked up, he'd have been right down there trying to figure it out. But at that point, we're talking like 2, 3, 4-ish, probably like 2, 3, just being tossed around in foster homes and this and that. And that I don't have a ton of memory about, but I do remember just like the impact that it had on me and not feeling like I fit in, and that was the theme of, throughout my life, is just like, I understand what's going on, very, very, very accepted once I was adopted. My childhood after adoption, very, very good. But there's still those very pivotal, very influential years from 2 to 5, 6, 7, where it shapes you,
So when you were adopted, though, that's how you ended up in Butler?
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
How old were you?
5.
5.
Whenever I was 4 going into 5, I was with a family, so strange. It's like the Drake effect, dude. They were very, very devout, like a Jewish family. I was, in my preschool was a Jewish preschool. We made matzo balls, and they had told me, we're your forever family, like the whole time I was with them, that whole year. And then, like, dude, one day, like, all my shit was packed up. I can remember this shit, you know what I mean? And I remember it felt like the longest ride of my entire life back to some neutral spot to meet with CYS and like the new family, and that ended up being the Murrays. I'm Barry Murray, It worked out really well, but these are just things that are ingrained in me, and like I can look back on all the counseling that I've done. Like, yes, I have attachment issues. Yes, I've had feelings of like not fitting in anywhere, but I learned to embrace it now. We got attachment issues. Let's get attached to the right people, the right things.
Right.
Abandonment. Okay, cool. Let's do everything that we can so that if and when people leave, I can just say my side of the street's clean. It doesn't affect me the same way. I'm not heartbroken anymore.
I mean, it still affects you.
It does.
Right? From like a psychology level. Like,
yeah.
I get it. Like, I've dealt with a lot of abandonment.
Mm-hmm.
Something we don't talk a lot about either is like survivor's guilt.
Yeah.
I always talk about that a lot because it's not touched on, where it's, we leave a lot of people You know, we leave them where we're at, especially like growing up and like the people we grow up with, how we tend to, you know, like especially through drug addiction, like getting sober. A lot of those people are no longer around.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're dead or in prison. So like, you know, we get stuck with that. So, I mean, it does play a part in the everyday relationship. So yes, we learn to accept it, and like you do, and I'm glad that you've managed to find the coping skill. And like being able to put that there.
Two quick things that you touched on were relationships. I was in drug court in Butler, and every month, I think, or maybe every 2 weeks, you have to make new goals, and you know, we're working with the case manager to make sure that you're like hitting those goals and this and that, and it was a perfect structure for me. Small tangent. Whenever I was institutionalized and this and that from a young age, when I'm caught, bro, I start working on myself. I'm not, oh, it's their fault. Maybe the night of, you know, I'm mad, but very quickly I move into, okay, what did I do wrong? How can I change this? And being young, about 6 months out, it wears off. But one of the goals was my relationships, man. I always jumped from click to click, whether it was like because I could use them, whether it was because like I just have many interests and I'm around many friends, and this is what we're around. But my best friend Joe, who's also 4 years now in recovery, doing fantastic, just got promoted to the floor at the dealership to sell cars, huge pay bonus and all that. Me and him came up with a little concept called the day twos. You know, day ones, your day ones. So like the day ones is like, yeah, dude.
I teach that in rehab.
yeah. All right, maybe we didn't.
I teach my clients that. Yeah.
It's just to us, it's kind of like the people now that we're more mature. We have more responsibilities. Our time is more valuable with work and family and this. Like I have 3 kids. So, I have 5 kids. But your day twos are the people that now you choose to spend that little bit of time that pour into your cup. And that day twos are way more important than day ones, because my day ones were the people I by my parents' house that I grew up with. You know, I still have day ones that are great. 1 or 2. You know.
Yeah, I keep
1 or 2.
I think I got like 1, maybe 2. I always say, so like I always teach that to my clients, is like the day twos are the people that we're not in the same situation. You know, growing up, we're all broke, we're all poor, we all got this bullshit. We need each other. Day twos are the people that like, I really don't need you. You really don't need me, but we're choosing to want to be around each other because like we're not on the same. We don't always have to be. This is what I always say, is like we don't always have to be on the same page as long as we're in the same book. You know what I mean? As long as we're in the same book, we're good. You know what I mean? If you want to go left and I'm trying to go right, what the fuck we doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
I'm a big fan of the
day like that
too.
No, that's cool. That's cool that, you know, the concept has been thought about before, because I do think it's beneficial to know, like, you don't have to, like, I'm writing a song about this right now. I have an awesome feature on it, but it's like if you give people that you care about the opportunity to grow, and you're helping them, you're giving them the tools. As you grow up and you have more responsibilities and this and that, there's less and less that you can physically do for a person, and as your maturity grows, there's less and less that you should physically do for a person. So if like that person refuses to grow, that's not a test of my loyalty. It has nothing to do with my loyalty, bro. Like, I'm trying to grow too, and I want nothing more in this world than for you to grow with me. But if we grow apart, it has nothing to do with my loyalty. I don't love you any less, but I'm going left and you're going right. You know what I mean? So it'd be beneficial to just mutually try to do your own things until you link back up. And if it's, you know, the way the universe works, if that person's supposed to be in your life, they will.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Because for me, that's how we, so, like in your drug addiction, right? So, like, one of the things, I'm sure, coming from a background where you have abandonment, you have this I don't belong, this which also messes with your self-esteem, self-worth.
People pleasing type of
absolutely.
behaviors.
So having that, the one thing that you do that a lot of people don't realize is we attract the toxic people, right? Sometimes we're toxic, right? A lot of the times,
absolutely.
Like I always tell people, like, stop telling me everybody in your life's toxic. Like, you might be the problem, right? So like we could be the issue in it.
Yeah. But a lot of times you're both the issue.
Absolutely,
you know what I
right?
mean?
And keeping that mindset,
Mm-hmm.
keep that mindset of, like, you know, the day twos, because that's how for me, that's how I decipher through who's positive and who's not positive for me, right? Which part of recovery, who do you need around you? Yeah. You need the positive, right?
10 millionaires in a room, you know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely.
I'm going to pop out with 500 bands. At least, come on.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
So what made you get sober, right? Because you were going through drug addiction. What's your drug of choice?
Crack cocaine.
Okay, so we're smoking crack, right? So smoking crack.
I don't say that a lot, you know.
Well, we're
I normally shield myself from vulnerability by just saying cocaine because it's more rock star. But the more that I look into it, man, the most passionate, most extreme artists were dealing with, like, very severe problems.
DMX was a crackhead.
Right. You know what I mean?
You made no bones of telling.
DMX is one of the most passionate artists,
100%.
brilliant minds that's ever gotten behind a mic or touched a pen to write it on paper. You know?
I agree.
I'm a firm believer, like, dude, I am just like the more extremist side. Like, I'm chilling now.
Right.
But there's just so much inside of me, bro. I feel like sometimes, you watch Dragon Ball Z?
Kind of.
You know
I started it, but then I found some other stuff. I just feel like
sometimes, like, even just sitting here right now, I just feel like I'm charging up to go Super Saiyan at all times, and just let it loose whenever. But
so you're smoking rock, right?
Yeah.
So you're a rock star. So
you know what I mean? I want to rock.
What made you? So how long were you smoking crack for? So hold on. Let me backtrack this. Right. So first of all, your addiction didn't just wait. You didn't wake up one day and say, "Today I'm smoking crack." Mm-hmm. Right. So at what age did you first start really experimenting?
So, like, drinking, kind of young. I got cousins that are a little bit older than me. They would hand me the vodka and orange juice, you know what I mean? And I think maybe like 13, 12, just, you know, playing around, like, take a sip or whatever. My family is the type of family, like, everybody took a sip of champagne on New Year's. You know, it was nothing. My dad's the type of person, every day, 35 years he worked at Armco, a.k.a. Steel. When he got off, went to Legion, met his buddies for a couple of drinks, came home, had like a beer or two. Every single day, with no exception, no problems. I wouldn't even call him any type of, like, functioning alcoholic or I wouldn't label him like that at all. Completely manageable life. So that's kind of the precedent that I saw. It was just like, oh, these are just normal things. You see beer commercials on TV. I can go to the bar and buy a beer as long as I'm 21. So never saw it as a problem. Honestly, like, still to this day, like, that's not what caused a problem. What started, like, addictive behaviors was, they put me on Adderall and Concerta and all of that. And I liked the Adderall, hated the Concerta. I take the Concerta to school, sell it, and now it's the groups, it's the people that I'm around now. Now I'm, like, selling my medicine at school, and, like, I'm just attracting people that want to buy amphetamines,
so
pills,
the first
this and that.
So like, the first addiction starts there.
Yeah,
right?
It's
you belong.
The cycle, bro. It's the cycle. Sell it, get some bread, get some confidence, get some people around me. I'm the man. Let's party.
Right. So now and I'm glad that you say that, right? Because that's a part of addiction that gets thrown away because everybody concentrates on, well, my life got bad when, right? But it's not all bad, right? Yeah. And that's the beginning of most of our addictions is when we have the drugs, especially coming from, like, abandonment issues and like struggling to fit in. Now all of a sudden you got pills.
Yeah.
You got people,
Mm-hmm.
right? So now
A
it's
little bit of money.
oh shit.
Yep.
Like I got people.
And you're starting to get
you know?
invited to parties that you never knew were
of
even
course.
going on.
Right.
You
got the
You're in
drugs.
these situations that, for me, bro, I was grounded. I have great parents, bro. My parents, top tier, like the best I've ever had. Coming from a doctor, you know what I mean?
Right.
But, dude, I was grounded all the time. So, just small tangent, like, when I would get ungrounded, I didn't know how to act, bro.
Right.
So, like, I just go out, crash out, and I'm grounded again for another whatever. I can't go to the basketball game because last time I went to the basketball game, I brought a bottle of Hennessy and got an underage drinking charge and went to Keystone. So, like, come on from Keystone, whatever. Even if it wasn't, like, institute, I'd be, like, in my room, phone taken away, no contact. So, it was just, like, every time I re-emerged, I'm like, cool, where's the homies?
Yeah.
Like, let's wild out. I've been gone forever, you know, and...
Shout out to your foster family, right?
Yeah,
'Cause, like
Murray.
I used to work unfortunately, I used to work for CYS. I say unfortunate because it was the worst years of my life.
Yeah, pretty hard, man.
But dealing with foster families, you see a lot of people that they want to take the foster kid in, and they're like, okay, let's bring them in. And then when the behavioral issues start occurring, well, you got to go.
I think that's what happened with the Jewish family.
Probably,
first, you
right?
know?
And in all
Which
fairness,
is fine, dude. I get it.
in all fairness, right? I don't think a lot of people understand when they sign up.
Mhm.
Like, you're signing up for what should be an unconditional love, and it
Yeah.
takes a special kind of mindset. Because, like, if you are going to sign up for foster kids, you have to understand when the teenage years hit.
Yeah.
There's going to be some fucking behavioral issues.
Because of the background that you're getting this kid from.
Sure, there's
You're not
anger.
clean slate. Right.
I'm sure you were angry, felt abandonment.
So mad forever, bro.
Absolutely.
I can remember screaming. My mom and dad are the most special people I've ever met. When you talk about unconditional love, like, I've done everything to them. You know,
Yeah.
stolen, used in their house, everything that I could possibly do. I just got off the phone with my mom yesterday. Like, everything's cool. Me and my dad, now that I have responsibilities and stability, like, me and my dad are, like, cool. You know what I mean? So,
Nice.
and I never thought that would happen. I always wanted, when I was younger, I wanted my parents to get a divorce so bad because my dad was very hard on me. And as he should have been, bro. You know?
I mean, he probably wanted better.
Never anything physical. It was just, like, for a long time, dude. Only time my dad talked to me was to, like, correct me, scold me, anything like that. There was a whole relationship as, like, after I started messing up, you know.
Sure.
He walked a very straight line. I don't know of any situation where my dad was in trouble. They're both very clean-cut people. So I introduced them to a lot of shit that
Yeah.
they probably never dealt with, you know. And then it's their kid, too, so it hurts a little bit more. So,
And kudos to them for sticking through.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
that's awesome. I like
Forever
hearing
blessed
stories
for that.
like that.
Mhm.
All right, man. So, what took you to crack?
Cocaine in Butler was shit. I don't think I ever.
So
had
obviously you were selling drugs at this time too.
Yeah, and just doing. It was like my couple of drugs of choice were Xanax and cocaine at first, you know, and you know, like the quality of life declines to a point where between boredom and the environment and the people, dude, like, I was just like, oh, crazy, let's do it. And the first time I like, tried crack, nothing, absolutely nothing, but it, like, completely destroyed that barrier where it was one of them things where, like, I'll never do crack, I'll never do heroin. Like, that's gone now because I did. So now it's, like, if you have a moral where you're like, I'll never steal from anybody, and then, like, one time you just do something subtle, like you take a candy bar or something, and you think about it like, oh, I just stole and nothing happened. You may not in that moment be like, okay, I'm stealing now, but like it just breaks down that barrier. Like you are inching towards like not having that as a boundary for yourself. So
I think that's with everything, because like we always talk to people where I'm like, listen, jail's a deterrent now, but once you go once, you don't care.
Right.
Homelessness sucks.
Yeah.
But once you get there,
Find a way to live in it.
you're fine.
Mhm.
Like, and then it turns into like, I know how to survive.
Right, and that's a perfect segue to, like, for me to get clean. It was not a I don't want to say it wasn't an act of desperation. Like, first of all, shout out to drug court in Butler. I'm 400 and maybe like one in taking drug tests over the last 3 years. I failed one, and it was actually for alcohol, you know. So and it was early on. So me and active addiction, just with not being shy, half black, half white, I can pretty much go anywhere, fit in, and be a chameleon. The chameleon mindset, while I was on the streets, it wasn't difficult for me. I could have done that for the rest of my life probably until it killed me, because after a while I ditched, like, I'm not going into this selling. I'm going to figure out who's the most powerful person in this little situation, who's the plug, what do they need, how do I gain your loyalty and trust, make some runs for them and this and that. Next thing you know, when they go to the next house, I'm going with them, and I'm not homeless anymore. Next thing you know, I got a couple of dollars in my pocket and personal work, and I'm also moving theirs too. Now I have my own pack, my own money, my own personal supply, and the plug's still bringing me with them. And then you meet another plug, and it's just easy to roll around in that and not be a, yo, let me get a 50 type of addict. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not carpet surfing, none of that. So
well, that's what keeps you in denial.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, like
I just found a way, just like I will with anything in life, to adapt, and it's two sides of a coin. Adapt and make the best out of it. I can adapt and make the best out of being a crackhead, or I can adapt and make the best out of bringing those skills into a more positive lifestyle. Okay, I can talk to people. Go talk to kids. Okay, I can do good, honest business and be loyal. Find business people to merge with. I negotiated my contract for Planet Euphoria. I make content for them, shoot videos for them. I've made more money out of music since signing with them, and it's all because of this skill stacking, learning how to do new things, and you just apply.
Yeah.
The same chameleon, I can just chameleon my way into some other cool situations that don't harm myself, the people around me, people that care about me, you know. So
that's what I always tell people.
I don't regret, like, you know, the running and gunning, because it taught me skills.
Well, that's what I always tell people, man, is as drug addicts, if you apply it correctly, I always tell people, like, listen, just get me to the door.
Yeah.
If you can get me to the door, I'll bust through that thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And as drug addicts, like, that's what we're good at, is just if you can get out of the mindset of, like, this, that, and, like, oh, everything's a victim. I hate the victim mentality.
Yeah.
If you can pull away from that and utilize, like, networking, fellowship that they teach you in the programs, if you can utilize that and apply that, all you need to do is have somebody help you get to the door. And once you get to the door, you can talk your way in.
Right.
You know? So, it's good. So, what made you say, I gotta stop smoking crack? What was the changing point?
Legal issues.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I wasn't trying to do
fair.
it 3 to 7, and they offered me drug court because just about every single charge or felony on my record all stems back to I was getting high. You know, so, and you can see that. You can just go right down my rap sheet and see, like, drug use, rehab. So finally, shout out to my PO. Thank you, Adam Coomer. Appreciate you, dog. He worked with me. So, like, to this day, I could just call him. We could just rap for 45 minutes. Not even about anything, because dude, I have like a good rapport now for making the right moves, making the right decisions. But it's thanks to drug court getting me clean. I crave structure like any other human does, but I really I thrive whenever there's like an outline and I can just pinpoint the goals, make a plan to meet each one. Like, the organization of your life has been one of the best tools that I've used. It's just organizing my life, you know, because the other side of it is when you identify that there's a problem with anything. This is making my life unmanageable. cool, manage it. I don't necessarily manage artists right now, but I help a lot of artists manage themselves. And it just comes down to like all making it manageable is just organization. You know?
Well, what helped you see that in the beginning? Because like that's not something that usually people just see, right? Because drug court's good, right? I think sometimes they're good, but a lot of times
sometimes.
it's not a deterrent, right? Because we're criminals at the end of the day. So okay, here's your PO. You have to now make sure that you pass these drug tests. Okay, cool. Well, I know your drug of choice. I know, because that's mine, is cocaine.
2-3 days.
I know. Okay, you came on Monday. You tested me on Monday. I know I'm probably not going to get tested until Friday, so I'm going to go ahead and go on a nice bender tonight, and then I'll drink a bunch of water and work out, sweat it out. We'll be fine. No, that never fucking happens, right? Come Thursday night, you're like, shit, I need to get somebody's urine.
Don't go to the piss test.
Right. Well, we think that.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
So what was that deciding factor of like, you know what, my life is just fucked and I've got to do something different?
I'll tell you what helped me.
Okay.
Results early on and affirmation from people I cared about.
Okay.
Like like your opinion really matters. You know what I mean? Mom, dad, girlfriend, close friends, my PO. Like, bro, I really care about that man. You know what I mean? He really helped me out. But I think it was just time, man. I had touched clean time before. You know what I mean? But I never. It's kind of just like, let's just try 100%. And if I fail at 100%, fine. If I fail just on some, I wasn't even trying. Like, that's corny. You never hear anybody. That's so cool. Oh, bro, how come you ain't? I wasn't even trying.
Yeah.
Why weren't you trying? And that, I've carried that with me throughout. But I just, dude, it sounds weird, but even rock bottom, I have been a let me get a 50 before. Very briefly, not for long, but right before I'd go to rehab because I have nowhere else, expended all options. Even then, bro, I was never like, this is my life forever. I always had that in my mind's eye, there is something bigger for me. And I've always loved music. It's so crazy to say how far away when I was thinking that for any of it to come to fruition. And I'm not even at the pinnacle or anywhere close to, but I never thought, this is me for the rest of my life and this is what I'm doing. Right. I always was like, we're going to get past this, but right now we're just in it, This is a right now thing. And depending on how long right now lasts, like, there is an end to running and gunning, and I don't know.
It's always an end.
I don't know how or why it was instilled in me, but I always saw a better life than what I was doing. And I think as an addict, wanting that better life right now is a lot of the reason why, like, do I blast off? Kind of the same feeling as rocking out an entire show, having, everybody in the crowd singing my music. Like to me, that's my high now.
I was just gonna say, that's your new drug, right?
Me wanting everything that I could see in my mind's eye right now before I did anything to like deserve it or work for it was kind of like what kept me in it, but also let me know like I wouldn't be in it forever, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I always saw a better plan for me, a bigger plan for me.
So, what keeps you going, right? Because, like, in the music industry, and, like, I know being around a lot of these people, your drug of choice is there.
Yeah.
A lot of different drugs are there. The drugs are there, the alcohol's there, the weed's there, like, everything's there. So, what keeps you focused on, like, nah, I can't do this?
Foundation that I built.
Okay.
I got too many people I care about. Her and I have 3 kids together, 2 twins, a boy and a girl, and an 8-year-old.
Good luck on
Shout
that
out
shit.
to it's fun, man. It teaches you about life.
I don't want any kids. I'm trying my hardest not to have them.
There's nothing more that I want in this world than an open line of communication between me and my 6-year-old girl or boy, or 16-year-old. I'll say that. Like when they're 16, I don't want to be the cool dad. Like let you do whatever the fuck you want. Like, but I want my son to come to me like, yo, they wanted me to drink last night, and I'm not gonna lie to you, like, I did drink a little bit, and I did like it, you know what I mean, or whatever the case may be, or I'm dealing with this problem, like, I'll be your father and your therapist. I have so much background. I went to school for psychiatry for a semester, but I was still not using heavily, but I was still interested in partying and drugs in that semester, so it didn't go very far, but those are my interests. So what keeps me going now is just like, dude, I have kids, and I have one of my best friends in the world just turned 20. I met him through music. He's Uncle Debo. So I have people around me now that, like, really, it's like the fellowship thing, man. Helping you helps me, and if you help me, we help each other. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that I just gain a lot from being in a position where, you know, if there's guidance that I can supply through my personal experience or advice that I can give you, and it helps or it doesn't help, at least, like, I like being there as a stable person. Like I said, like, my relationships with people was one of the biggest things that I wanted to hone in on and kind of revive, work on. I just want to be now, since I was such an unstable person in so many people's lives for so long. All I want now is just be an anchor in my family, my friends, just anybody around me, and then we go even further to like fans, because I dropped the last album that I dropped is called No Rain, No Flowers. You know what I mean? And it means a lot to me because it's like
I liked it. I listened to it. I peeped it out.
Did you?
I like it.
Did you by chance? There's
Don't ask me the name of the songs. I'm not sure.
There's the intro. It's called "Kiddo Speaks" from my friend Brian Perry. We were both in active addiction together. He does tattoos. He now is CRS at for Pyramid Wilkinsburg,
nice.
Which is crazy because that's one of the places I got clean for a long time. But he has a. I asked him to just do like a monologue, talk, rant. He sent me a 7-minute rant. I broke it down to like a minute 25 because he started talking about wild shit. But it's basically just like, dude, like, don't be a victim. You can't be a victim. These things are happening for you, not to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, take what you can that's good out of it. Oh, that looks like an L. That L stands for lesson. As corny as that is, but like, dude, they're all lessons, and it just fits so perfectly with No Rain, No Flowers, because, like, I have been in those depressive states where everybody's against me, and I have had no accountability in my life before. I've been in those phases where, like, it's everybody else's fault. And while I was in that, nothing got better.
Right.
As soon as I decided, even if this is solely from an outsider's perspective, oh, why do you do that? Well, I don't know, but I can tell you this, from my side of things, like, maybe I got an attitude with him, maybe he might be going through some things, but all I know is, like, I'm involved, I'll take credit, I'll take blame, even if it's not my fault, just to smooth over situations. You know what? Let me take initiative and claim something that, sure, whether I did it or not, I'll claim this responsibility part of it, because that might open the door for them to be like, you know what, their defense is down now, they're not still being defensive, saying you did it or whatever. Hey, I'm sorry about this part. And then the 9 times out of 10, like, alright, man, me too.
Well, how was the, so now we're on the music scene.
Yeah, let's do it.
So how are you navigating through so what most people don't know that's listening to this, because I get a lot of people from all over, right?
Yeah.
My biggest demographic is Butler, though. Like,
cool.
Butler people, like, I do a lot of work with Butler, so I get a lot of people from Butler.
Thank you.
But I do have people from all over, and what people don't know, because they know our little area and they hear Pittsburgh, and if they're into music, there's only but 2 artists that they think of, and that's Mac Miller and Wiz Khalifa.
Yeah.
Right? Which, fuck that piece of shit. But Then I got a personal story for now.
About
we'll do that off camera.
Yeah.
Fucking. But Mac, though, we definitely shout out big.
Yeah.
You know, he was good. So what people don't know, though, about the music scene is that, man, it's very, like, click oriented, very like beef oriented. Like if you're from this little tiny side of Pittsburgh or this little tiny side of Pittsburgh, everybody hates each other.
Right.
Nobody really kind of. I mean, there's some.
There's not a collective
unity, but there's very few unity.
Yeah. Well, that's like the trap side of things, though. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
true.
If you're doing gritty trap drill music and you're really living that lifestyle, absolutely, you probably have dealt with.
Shout out to Beefer from down that way. I don't know if he's out or not, but like I love that dude's music. He got the. If you're watching this, there's a guy named Beefer.
Okay.
I love that dude's music. Go ahead.
I've talked about that
out.
before, where like there's a lack of support because you're only getting support from your little bro. That's why, dude. I try to stay out of that. I learned. I put out one album. It was first LP or whatever. Didn't make it. Wasn't making an album whenever I just had now 11 or 12 songs that I had made because I wanted to perform. And some of it early on stuff is mellow, and then you'll see throughout the album like I have hype songs that it was just curated because I wanted show songs, good set lists, and then I just put it out. The next album that I dropped was that No Rain, No Flowers, and it was, dude, I have 5 songs that are completely clean. Not because I, in my mind, was like, let's make radio songs. It was just, I had switched what I wanted to talk about. Cool, alright, so I have this, now people know I can make music and I can do a show. Alright, now that people are kind of listening, let's let them know who I am and my beliefs and how I feel. And No Rain, No Flowers is just that, it's me instead of the persona or whatever, you know what I mean? I lost my train of thought, but yeah.
So basically, you're just trying to stay authentic.
Yeah, well,
right. Which is the key. That's the key to everything. Is just stay you.
Exactly. I had to do it. I had a management deal, and I had to do a unique value proposition, and like that's it right there. The most unique you'll ever be is you, because there's only one.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely.
But that album, like, did my kids listen to my music more than anybody? It's on it's the only thing they don't know how to spell on YouTube and this and that. So when I had that crazy music that was shock and awe, they're singing that. I shouldn't be drinking, but tonight we getting litty, throwing some cute bitch, we going to the city. And I got my 5-year-old singing that. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So, and then also, my grandmother just passed away. She lived a long, healthy life. But before she passed, my aunt told me that she had shown that music to my grandma. And I was like, oh, no. And I like, a wave of shame. I was like, why? You know? Right. So something clicked in me. Why am I making music that I am afraid for certain people to listen to? You know? Why am I making music that I'm not very comfortable with it playing in the same room as my mother? I'm not very comfortable playing in the same room as my 4-year-old, my 5-year-old. So we switched it up. And we made music. I made music that my authentic self, no shock and awe, and great lessons, great message throughout the entire thing, and that is the direction that I'd rather go, and it was received way better because it was authentic, you know.
Yeah, I like that, especially when you make music that you want to.
Nobody wants to listen, dude. I don't want to hear some scrawny 15-year-old from Cranberry talking about drilling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's not authentic. But I will go listen to, say, like, Millie's or somebody talk about the things that he talks about, because whether or not it's authentic, I can believe from the way that he holds himself that, yeah, sure, these things are probably true. And the authenticity of you telling a story like that is what brings my attention. I'm not interested in someone making up a story or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If make up a joke,
we get
don't
that
make up a
shit
story.
we get that shit on this. I've had people reach out, and I'm like, all right, well, and then like I'll start talking to them and be like, yeah, man, you're not coming on here to talk about that shit. We're here to talk about recovery, not glorify the the days of past.
Yeah.
Like, that shit's just wild when people want to do that, right? But, alright, man, so you have Instagram?
I do have Instagram, yeah. I have, are we plugging?
Yep, shoot out all your links.
Cool, we got...
Which I'll post them at the bottom of this episode when it comes out.
We got a couple of really cool things going on just based on and I owe it all to just being consistent now. Consistent and reliable, good business. So, I work and I'm signed to a label called Planet Euphoria. We have Planet Euphoria Records, Instagram, the Launchpad PGH if anybody's looking to get studio time or come get headshots, graphic design, all those types of things. We'll put them first. And then shout out to Visions Attire. We're working on a Visions Attire collab. It's a clothing line in Pittsburgh. Shout out to Gio. And then if anybody's interested in getting music video shot or edited content, I will pull up to your show, be a cameraman for you, and then also give you back a highlight reel of your performance in the night. You can tap in with Beamer Worldwide. That's BmurrTheET Worldwide on Instagram. And then if you're interested in peeping some of my music, it's BmurrTheET, same way it's spelled, BmurrTheET, the E.T. Beamer the extraterrestrial coming through. Beamer got green like a vegetable.
We'll put that in there.
19 years ago.
This let's see, it's September. I'm pre-recording this season.
Yeah.
So
I was going to ask you about that. How's that going? Because that's really smart of you to have everything locked in, ready to go. You're not scrambling the week before to get an episode out.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's been troubleshooting.
That's how I did it the first season, and then that's how I did it. That's kind of how we did it with the very first time I tried to do it.
Third season?
Attempt to do it. Technically, well,
this is the third season?
This is the second.
This is the second season, okay.
This is the second season, third time doing it.
I misjudged your experience. It seems like you're on your third. It seems like you do know what you're doing, you know?
Well, I had a podcast prior to this.
What was that called?
That was Trapped Emotions.
Okay.
Me and a good friend of mine did that. We only did like 7 episodes, and then life showed up.
Yeah.
And then
Life on Life's Terms.
Yeah, so I changed it to this, and then this is the second season of this. Different format than the first season. So, but we probably won't. Honestly, I'd like to release it during November-ish.
Okay.
For the simple fact is it's winter time, and more people are going to be at home because I'm going to concentrate more on YouTube.
That's when I prefer to put albums out.
Yeah.
You know, put all your singles out. Right now I'm making like Afrobeat type, you know, girls, margaritas, umbrellas, by the pool, that type of music. All summer long it was that and features. And then, I mean, Rod Wave does it. Rod Wave come November, he got an album that's emotional. You in the bed with your girl, whatever the case may be. You're inside and you're digesting more content, TV, whatever it may be.
I like wintertime.
Yeah.
I
think I'm gonna like wintertime this year.
I'm not a summertime person. Give one for the winter.
I used to get real seasonal depression in the winter, but I wasn't shit and I wasn't doing shit then. So I'm a little bit more excited about getting out in the snow, more energy, more drive, more motivation to like actually get out there, have the kids out there. I don't care if I'm cold. I just want to live now. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I'm hoping this does. So we're going to try to release more in the winter, or I'm going to try to release everything more in the winter time. I'll concentrate on each season's going to come out towards the winter. Just for the simple fact is seasonal depression is real, and a lot of people are in home.
Yeah.
And I'm going to concentrate more on the YouTube so you can watch it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Instead of everything through YouTube. I've been doing that whenever I release songs now.
I'm going to get away from Spotify. I don't like Spotify, the format.
Dude, I have, like, most of my music gets listened to on Spotify. I don't listen to music on Spotify, though.
Yeah.
That's my best streaming platform, but Apple Music and YouTube. But I've digested more podcasts, more minutes of podcasts than I have music in the last, what is it, September, 9 months?
Yeah.
Even going past that, I'm huge on podcasts.
Yeah.
So that's why, really, I found out, tapped in, tuned in, and you having this platform, I've been trying to get on here for a little while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while. You almost came first season, so I'm glad that it worked out to where you're able to come this season.
Absolutely.
So it's a whole different thing.
And, dude, I'd love to come back, too, because there's a lot more like mental health and just lessons and stories of growth that I have. I could do this all day.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
I was very, very close to going in. One of my best friends, the CRS guy now, very close to going that path instead of what I'm doing now. And I'm not taking it off the table, but something like this, reopening, because 4 or 5 years in, I don't go to meetings. You know what I mean? I have hobbies and morals and ethics that keep me. Like, it's not a beneficial decision for me to go out and go on a run. I've just worked really, really hard, continue to work very hard, but it is nice to be reminded, like, hey man, you have to, I have to give a lot of gratitude towards, the counselors, the case managers, the people, the support systems that did help me through. I don't want to completely forget about that as like things continue to get better and better, and I think it's very important. Like, if there is a rehab that I can go to and speak at, if there is a podcast centered around helping people develop and grow and get through a tough time, like, count me in, So, thanks for bringing me back.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man. I appreciate you coming. So, we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. So, as always, you could have been anywhere in the world today. You chose to be here with us. Greatly appreciate you. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. And hopefully you hear something that will help you today, because at the end of the day, I just need you to get sober for one day. If you can get sober today, tomorrow looks a little bit better. So if you can just do it for one day, that's all it takes, is that one day. So I hope that you got what you needed. I hope that it helps, and tune in next week.
Thank you for watching.